Hey everyone, it's the Mad Master here, doing one more video today. I just felt like it. This one is called The Lies Normies Tell You About Dating. And I just got a flash of inspiration because I was thinking about, I've probably done as far as this subject before on videos from years ago, but I was just thinking about all the things that people tell you growing up, and especially as a cisgender heterosexual male. Like, one of the biggest things is like, oh, stop looking, you'll meet someone, and it's like, I remember when someone told me that when I was a kid, when I was about 11, 12 years old. The irony is, until I actually started looking, I didn't have anybody. I didn't meet anybody, I mean, I think what they're trying to do is like to say, don't stress yourself out about it. There's good intentions behind all these tropes and these ideas, but that was one of the dumbest ones ever. Because what do when you sign up for a dating website, or you go to speed dating, or go hit on girls at a mall? Or what's that guy's name that did that? I forgot. Or certain people do that I know. Women at a mall, I should say, not girls. All legal stuff, by the way. As far as what I'm talking about. As far as what these people are telling people, it's supposed to help. I guess it's supposed to help people, like, not feel so bad. Oh, well, stop looking. Maybe magically you'll meet someone. Fuck that. Now, as anybody that's studied like intention, the occult and stuff, knows, like, having the intention put out there, just being like an expectation, expecting to meet someone, that's a different story. And then just letting go, some sort of. I'm still exploring these ideas. I'm still sort of getting into some of this stuff, like the occult kind of thing. So that's one of the dumbest things. Another lie normies tell you is be yourself. And that's the most controversial thing to say. So let's say this guy has, I know people like this, I'm not going to say who, but people that just tell everybody their mental condition all the time, their mental illness. They, if they, feel something, they say that, like, oh, guys are supposed to share their feelings. Now if you're telling them you're like having a panic attack half the time, how attractive is that? How fucking, like, masculine, quote unquote, if you're into that sort of thing, which I think a lot of women are, a lot of heterosexual women, cisgender. How masculine is it to talk about your feelings all the time, and how you feel and how fucked up things are? Oh, I'm feeling hella really crazy right now. I'm having this problem. Mental health, the stigma is there, and we should try to get over that. But there's a line that must be drawn. So be yourself. No, be your best self. Don't be yourself. What if yourself is a fucking guy that's a hermit, and that doesn't hang out with people and hates people? And be yourself. Just imagine this like computer programming guy, like 500 pounds. It's like, I hate everybody. Fuck everybody. I'm being myself, though. I'm being myself. I'm not gonna accept a girl unless she accepts me for who I am. Yeah. There's pus on their face and all this shit. Or whatever. So that's another lie. What are some other lies about dating that the normies tell you? Well, there's another one, like, I think one of them, it's this assumption that you shouldn't have multiple, well, I'm trying to think of what this means. I mean, I guess, like, sometimes dating multiple people is frowned upon, unless you're, poly or whatever. But, a lot of people just expect you, like, especially if you're someone that hasn't done well in the past, like, you tell them you're dating someone, they're like, oh my God, when do I get to meet them? Oh my God. It's like, oh wow, I feel so confident about your confidence in my, ability to, meet romantic partners by you getting super excited about one person, all of a sudden. I'm sorry, this might be a little harsh and close to home, but it's like, one of my friends I told once, if he was ever back on Facebook, he should say, was posting pictures of one of my exes one time, and I'm like, he said, well, instead of being like so patronizing about you actually having a girlfriend, oh my god, he would be like, another one? It's just like these patronizing kind of things that people do. It's not, it makes a microaggression. It's like, maybe it is a micro, in a way it's a microaggression. It's like, okay, Matt is done, let's just hypothetically say this, it's somewhat true, not completely true, but Matt's done pretty bad, he had a hard time growing up, had a hard time meeting the opposite sex. There was the opposite sex interested in him, and he was so like autistic or whatever the fuck I was, that I couldn't even see it. There was girls, there were women that had crushes on me that people said that they approached me. I looked down and I didn't even like see them. This happened numerous times, like at least 1 or 2 times that I know of. This my friend of mine told me this. I'm like, someone liked me, and I just was oblivious. Like I didn't even see him. So I was so wrapped in my own world. So being yourself is not the way to do things. Improving yourself certainly is, And there's probably a range and a spectrum of improvement that you can do by improving yourself or being your best self, as Neil Strauss once put it. There's a spectrum. There's only so far you can go with your body mass index as far as lifting weights, like genetically or whatever. It's only so far you can fuck with your head or unfuck your head, unfuck your brain, to be deconditioned from a lot of bullshit that's out there, including what I'm talking about in this video. I'm trying to think of more things normally say about dating relationships to someone, especially someone that's had trouble. So, yeah, I mean, those are the 2 top ones. I mean, I'm sure there's other ones. I mean, just the whole idea that women like a guy that's nice all the time, like that's all they like. And so you have, they talked about this in that movie that came out, this weird like sociopathic, psychopathic nice guy. See, I don't want to be, I want to see, my whole thing is presenting the monster in front of you, and then the with the heart of gold. That's my archetype, that I wanted, like the bad boy with the heart of gold. I always like to be an asshole, but not really, And part of that is because of friends I made. 2009, I made a bunch of new friends. So I've lost one of my best friends who was not talking to me anymore. I was like all depressed about it. I don't know what happened, but like I don't remember what happened with like how I made all these friends, but I made all these new friends in 2009. I talked about it in a previous video, like last year, manifesting friends or whatever. And it was like a few of them were kind of assholes. I mean, assholes. But like I guess I changed a little bit, being friends with these people. I lived with someone that was kind of a cocky, and because I used to be a fucking wuss, like even more than I am now. Oh, you hurt my feelings. I grew up really sensitive, and that's another thing people say. That's another myth, another normie myth. Women like a sensitive guy. Well, depends what you mean by that, of course, the definition. I mean, maybe in the constraints of a relationship, of a serious relationship, sure. And that's been my problem probably, because I remember it was this distant memory, but it was like 10 years ago, or a little under 10 years ago. I was putting a jar of Mrs. Renfro's green salsa in my refrigerator and focusing on that. I was on the phone with my girlfriend at the time. She says, "I love you." And I said, "Oh yeah, thanks." And I knew at that moment, that was the moment where I lost her. So being sensitive, like when you're in a relationship, yeah, sure, probably. Because I know that was the moment. Mrs. Renfro's green salsa is the boy. in a way. So, yeah, there's a place for everything, right? There's compartments for everything. There's a place to be sensitive. There's a place to be cocky, funny, an asshole, whatever you want to put it, or however you want to put it. But yeah, being yourself and being told that you're waiting for, and then okay, the idea of the one too. You'll meet someone. You'll meet one person. There's one out there for everybody. That's a fucking flawed, fallacious, desperate sounding thing. Like, oh my God, there's only one person. No, there's lots of people. Doesn't mean you have to be like cheat on them or not have monogamy. It just means there's lots of people. That's probably one of the top fallacious arguments these people make. And if you have troubles, let's say, this is universal. Every guy, heterosexual, cis male. Sorry for throwing that in there all the time, but every heterosexual cis male who had troubles attracting the opposite sex has had family members or friends saying these things to them. And these are just societal conditioned things and these ideas that are, some of it's Hollywood, like a certain California cat lover named Ross used to say, it's Hollywood conditioning. I mean, people think like all these things are true, but they're not. I mean, the converse is not true either, though, I mean, there are people that I've known that have been real assholes and they've gotten women really easily, but you have to really tailor it and tinker it to yourself as far as how far you want to go and how you want to be. Because like that doesn't, I mean, some things don't work for me that'll work for someone else. I'm still figuring it out at this age. Yeah, it was fucked. I got fucked over numerous times. I'm just being honest. I've been fucked over. It's not all their fault. A lot of it's mine, but for not being on my game or whatever. I don't want to go by this idea that game is most important, like how it's all a game, like you're playing the game, you made a wrong move, no, it's shared blame. But I fucked up really bad, but I've gotten fucked over too, in numerous ways, and I'm not even going to talk about in this video. Pretty bad shit that almost makes me want to quit. I'm not going to go into it. So nothing like a bunch of money or something like that being stolen or anything like that, but just like, it's just like, and some things I knew about beforehand and I just, ignored it, and I'm just like, oh shit, I got fucked, So it's just the way that life goes with doing this stuff, just trying to date and stuff. So, but yeah, I'm sick of these little tropes that are being thrown out there, and they still get thrown out there by the most well-intended people. So I mean, I'll tell you what the opposite of what these strange things that people tell me. One, wait around, someone will come along. No, search, go. Don't make it your life's obsession, but have a time in your life, with a time in your week where you're like online or on whatever dating apps or out there, especially since certain things are supposedly receding now. Even if the numbers look similar to a year ago in some ways. Anyways, I'm not going to go into that. In certain parts of last year, I should say. So, go out there, meet people. No, be conscious of your search. Go do it. Why limit yourself? See, I grew up, I'm kind of facing a lot of stuff in my life right now. Like, I grew up with this, just like these ideas, these tropes. I'm questioning them. And I was watching the Styx Hexenhammer video about Satanism. And he was talking about like Satanism is a good phase. This is all over people will probably think I'm nuts, like who are normies now watching this video, but I don't care. He's talking about Satanism, as LaVey defined it, being kind of this phase that you can go in to like break down all the conditioning and stuff. So in my life, I've decided, not inspired by that video, because I've been thinking about this. This is a thing that actually like I kind of was like, wow, that kind of goes along with like what I think about a lot of stuff. I'm trying to break down this conditioning. So that's why I kind of go on and say I actually am more violent now than I used to be, like in my words, not actions, thankfully, but I talk about. I used to hate when people talked about killing people, their political rivals and stuff, like even in a joking way. Now I'm just joking about it, but it's like being a little edgier, like a little more like fuck you, like say fuck you about stuff, like say I'm gonna try to be peaceful instead of, just as a thought experiment for a while, just see how it goes, because I've been this passive little dweeb for a long time, and the past year and a half I was too passive, I fucking got rolled over by society and, you know, life. I do feel like that. I'm sorry. I'm not saying I'm a victim. Oh my God, feel sorry for me. But in a lot of ways, I let things get to me too much. And it's about time to smash them into fucking smithereens, right? Smash them. Not in like a domestic, you know, like domestic abuse or violence or something, or violence against people or whatever. But I mean, just smash it, like smash people's expectations, smash people's, you know, realities. Like, I'd rather do that. I'd rather just like blow people away with mind fucks. See, that's one of the things, like, why I've always been against the death penalty, is because they're dead, they're not suffering, you know, for their crimes anymore. They could, who knows, maybe they, like, if you believe in, like, Catholicism, they could have forgiven all their sins, they could be in heaven. Where's the suffering, and why they're not paying for their crimes in heaven, you know, if you believe in that. But I'm trying to decondition a lot of these things. So, anyway, this is going on. This is like my last video where it's going all over the place. I don't care. So, yeah, these myths and these tropes and these normies push and promulgate are stupid. It was only when I was 15 years old, almost 16, I went on a BBS, and I was doing the most pathetic beta shit possible. I was like, will you be my girlfriend? You know, begging. I did meet a girl, you know, on a BBS. It was proto-internet kind of thing. I met a girl. It was my first date, my first makeout, my first movie theater makeout. I almost got kicked out, but I talked about in the previous video, one of the previous videos. And she's actually no longer with us, unfortunately. Got too much into drugs. But, you know, I wouldn't have done that stuff, like, if I wouldn't have searched. I would have never found. You gotta fucking try. I mean, the ideal thing, I think what happens is female family members and friends, what happens is they see this perfect person that's living their life and just meets people naturally. They don't understand that a person who's really damaged and can't do that, let's say this person, you know, it's fluid, right? They like this fluidity. It's like people why they're against pickup artist stuff. It's like they don't like the messing, tinker around with that natural thing that happens. But a lot of people don't have that natural thing. They have to attain it. They have to try, because they were conditioned not to have those things. Because whatever, the father was absent and he was a wuss and got yelled at or whatever, and his wife yelled at him for bumping in a table and spilling someone's drink in Chicago, you know, in 2015 or whatever. Or whatever, you know. Or, you know, he was you know, always retreating, or he gets drunk and, like, you know, just doesn't, you know, is passive and just gets drunk in his own room and fucking hides from everybody, you know, or whatever. Like, you know, people that grow up with weird things like that, you know, with a male, I'm gonna be traditionalist in this video. It's like, you don't have this natural male figure, male polarity and female polarity. Divorce, period. That's why the pickup artist thing grows, is because of divorce, partly because people got divorced. And, you know, it's like, so people get divorced, it fucks things up. The polarity isn't matched in the arrangements. And this is kind of fucking new agey woo shit, but I'm just saying, let's just hypothetically do a thought experiment and say it's true. So you're floundering as a person, you feel out of control. So you withdraw within yourself, you're hiding from the world, and you don't have that type of control. So expecting you to be naturally flowing into relationships, like, people normally see this. Oh yeah, you'll meet someone when you're not looking, because they see they're adapting that to a normal person. It's kind of like what this one pickup artist guy said, like, when he talked about people being nice. Like, of course, if Brad Pitt was nice, it's more attractive than some dork, like, being overly nice and, like, giving flowers on the first date or some shit, right? Some doofus, right? See, when people, especially female family members and friends, they give these kinds of, like, normie kind of pronouncements, promulgations, they are imagining this person. They're imagining. Actually, it's a compliment to them, because they think you're normal, but you're not. You know you're not. I mean, you were still a virgin at 23. You know, when most people have moved on and have gotten married and shit. So it's like, it's a nightmare, you know? And people don't realize how fucking lonely it is too. I mean, I mean they take these things for granted. That's the thing. Like, oh well, not everybody has relationships. No, but I like the choice. I want the fucking choice, right? To have one or not. I don't want to sit there and fucking be alone when I don't have to be. I want the choice. If I choose to be alone, I will be alone. If I choose to be with someone, I choose to be with someone. And of course, believing in intention and stuff. Of course, that's true. You know, it's you know, you look at these things and it's one of those situations. But normies, you know, they like to say these things. I'm clumping a lot of people into the normie thing. Excuse me. I'm just doing this as a example. You know, it's they like to do these things though, and you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with demolishing the idea that waiting is not right, because waiting didn't do shit for me. Expecting sometimes did. Sometimes, like when I used to work at Walgreens back in the day, I was like, I expect to meet someone next week, and I did. It was weird. Like this is like the law of attraction kind of stuff with that. But like waiting, oh, I'm just gonna live my life and meet someone. That doesn't happen with everybody. If you're socially awkward, you're socially fucked. If you have chode metalhead lifestyle that has sausage fest written all over it, and then you have work is like all fucking Marges or Karens, what are you gonna do? I talked about this in a previous video. You know, have these two things. Are you gonna fuck the Marge, you know, that had 3 kids and is still married and, you know, is drinking diet soda to lose weight even though like 300 pounds? You have nothing in common with them. They watch Green Bay Packers and they think their tattoo makes them punk or something. I don't know, I'm just making these things up. Or you have this other side where there's like one girl and she's like crazy. Like there's like this woman in the metal rock scene here in this town that I'm not gonna say one, but there's certain ones that, I mean, this sounds crazy, like mental health, stigmatization, sexism, or whatever. Oh, I'm guilty of that. Certain people that have bad reputations. I don't mean like having sex with everybody. That's whatever. The reputation, I mean, it's like over, like a lot of drama, like police called and a lot of suicide attempts and all sorts of stuff. Like the metal scene attracts that type of person in general, and especially, and with, not all women. I'm not saying not all women, but it's just like a lot of them are really insular, introverted people, and if you don't want to be that way, especially if you read some of this pickup material, you get brainwashed it over 16 years, you're, or, you know, if you basically fucking like, you know, are into self-help, self-development, you don't want to be that way. It's not something I wanted to be. You know, I don't want to be this meek person. I didn't want to. You know, growing up, I didn't want to be that guy. I wanted to be the guy that kicked ass, took names. You know, I mean, that's why I get I rail against people that say I'm quite like, oh, you know, like if you like I walk by Walgreens again. There was my 2 managers. This is a long time ago, decade plus. I'll just say because I'm old. There's these 2 managers talking about it. Matt's so docile. It's like, I'm a sheep, you know? You get sick of that shit. I want to fucking shatter this shit. Maybe I'll get arrested, you know? Fine. I did something different. Well, I already got arrested, you know, a little over 10 years ago. But, you know, maybe I'm not going to try to get arrested. But maybe, you know, maybe I'll get in some trouble. Maybe I'll get kicked out of a bar. Matt, that guy? He got kicked out of a bar? Oh my God, that's so shocking. What happened to him? What happened to you, Matt? It's like my political thing. People might be shocked by some of it, but like, I mean, actually, there was one friend that was sort of shocked. I'm like, dude, I've been talking about conspiracies since 1999. Where have you been? We've been friends since 1995. What the fuck? You know? It's just hilarious. People have these perceptions of you. That's another thing, you know? Don't care about the perception. Just ignore it. Just do your thing. Follow your inner compass, your inner goals. You know, that's one of the things about this whole process, you know, life that you have to do. But yeah, it's just, it's nonsensical to say, oh, wait around, you'll meet someone, or don't try too hard. Well, you know, it depends on how you're trying. I've tried all sorts of stuff, you know. I've gotten results. Eventually, yeah, I need to probably tinker with my methods a little bit, but you know, I mean, and you know that's one good thing about the whole, you know, these tropes and these cliches and stuff. You know, if you keep, or what is it like, if try something, you keep failing, you're, you know, gotta try something different or whatever. I forgot what the thing was. Brain is fried by espresso, chocolate covered espresso beans right now. So, yeah, it's just like, it's stupid tropes like that, and you know, you got to break out of those tropes. It's people have a weird idea about conditioning in society, and that's why a lot of these things are controversial, because they expect you to be yourself based on, you go through development, childhood, you get conditioned by all this stuff. The irony is the people that talk about being yourself the most, these anti-PUA people or feminists or something, are the biggest proponents of nurture versus nature. That's the irony. It's like, no, it's not nature. There's no evolutionary psychology. It's all sexist science. You know, it's like, that's the irony about this shit. It's like, these people are the most nurture proponents, and they're attacking you for not being yourself. Change yourself. If it's all nurture, fucking, why can't we change? Why can't we be different? You know, start speaking with a fucking accent. It's a magical act. You know, Crowley probably said to do that, I think, but they said to do a lot of weird shit. Just start speaking with a British accent all the time, or Australian. You know, me and my friend were out once. One of my other friends, we were out and hitting on some women and stuff, and I told him to start doing an accent. He started doing an Australian accent. I couldn't stop laughing. See, make it fun. Make your life fun. Just go out there and speak with a weird accent and talk to people and do weird shit. Who gives a fuck? Don't just do weird shit, because that's my problem. It's like a lot of these years, I've just gone out there and done weird shit and not followed it up with any kind of seriousness. It's like the clown or whatever. Shy but loud, you know. That's what a girl named Crystal called me once. Not the Crystal that it was my first date, but different Crystal. But that's about all I can say about everything with that. So break your conditioning, break your bullshit that you've been lying to yourself. You know, we lie to ourselves, we tell ourselves, we repeat back these normie, quote unquote normie promulgations in our heads, like, I've got to wait. You know, maybe it's subconsciously and influenced me to really stagnate, you know, instead of like saying, taking the bull by the horns and going for it. You know, I think that's probably been the case at times. You gotta fucking try. You gotta try. You gotta try until you don't have to try. So that's where they say, because the people, that's what I was trying to say earlier, when people say, you shouldn't try too hard, just wait and you'll meet someone. They're thinking about this person in their head. This ideal person that you're really attracted to. No, I'm doing a little NLP. So they're thinking about this ideal person, right? That doesn't have to try, right? Because they're thinking of a normal person, right? A normal guy. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not normal. I've never been normal. You know, I fucked up really bad in this area, really bad. I stagnated. I did things I should never have done. Nothing illegal. Some things that, you know, I definitely regret, but nothing, you know, too bad. But just a lot of mistakes, a lot of bad things that I did, a lot of bad attitudes I had about myself and others. It's a nightmare, you know, and it's important. This part of my life is important. It's the most important part of my life. My business that I'm pursuing with a friend right now is related to this subject. I'm not doing a pickup company, don't worry, but we're coming to your town, we're teaching boot camps. You know, no, nothing like that, but you know, it's one of those things that, you know, it's very important to me because it's been so chaotic and it's been so harsh in my life. People take things for granted. They take for granted, like a lot of women take for granted, like women that are of a certain stature, that a man can, like, they can go years without a girlfriend or without dates. They take it for granted because they get hit on all the time. Oh, I don't understand that. You know, actually, an ex told me that. She's like, I don't get it because you're like, I mean, it's like, no, you don't fucking get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. You know, people don't get it. People don't really realize how bad it is for a lot of people. And it's not even that. I mean, it's not even as bad as a lot of people that I've known. For me, it's not even as bad as them. They have a real hard time. I can't imagine being 44 or 45 years old or whatever, never having a girlfriend. I mean, even if they call a girlfriend, you know, whatever they call a girlfriend, they dated someone for like a week or something, they call it a girlfriend, they even kiss or whatever. Some people do that to try to inflate their like lack. Like my first date was not a girlfriend. I mean, I guess you could, you know, made out and, you know, stuff happened, you know, but, you know, but anyways, you know, I can't imagine being a virgin at 45 or 50 and like having to really like figure out what I wanted to do because of this lack of experience, of this lack of, you know, love and intimacy. It would be a nightmare. I'm actually pretty glad, grateful, and blessed that I've had the success that I've had, even though it's very minuscule compared to a lot of people, compared to most people, even most people in a lot of ways. That's why I go to such extremes to get this better. And that's why I'm going to. Be forewarned. I've gone to such extremes, you know, that gotten into these weird ideas to some people. You know, it's like people don't get it. They take it for granted. They take it for granted. You see, let's say you're like I mean, this is gonna sound bad, but like you're Ethiopian in the 80s and you flew on a plane and you're starving, you're a child, this is terrible, and then you're plopped in front of a Baskin Robbins, you've seen people eat ice cream. Imagine that in a relationship and sexual way, and you can kind of get that idea of what it's like to be that kind of person that has that lack, that scarcity in their life in the subject. And a lot of women don't understand. A lot of women, I'm just being honest, like a lot of women don't understand it. Why are you into that? That's so sexist. Why would you do that? Yeah. It's like, well, what else am I gonna do? It's like fucking, you know, it's like we used the chemical weapons. We used the conventional weapons. We used the cluster bombs. We used the fucking, like, we use the sanctions, we use the chemical weapons, we gotta go to thermonuclear war. It's fucking war out there. Dating is fucking war. It is. And I don't like to think of it that way. You're not supposed to think of it that way. However, as a temporary phase until things are normal, I don't mean normal like with the new normal, not the new normal, but I'm gonna attack my fucking phone one of these days. It's gonna crack. I don't mean the new normal. I'm crazy. I mean like I'm just laughing too, but until things are normal in your life, that you can go a year without, or even with this last year, go a year without, like, or a year or a couple, you can only have to go a couple months without meeting someone, right? Or being in a relationship or whatever. You know, it doesn't have to be near decades for a lot of people it is. You know, or you have that girlfriend that lives up north that you're having sex with once a year and you're like obsessed with because it's the only action you've gotten or whatever. I'm just saying, like, whatever. It's like, I don't care. I'm calling, you know, whatever. You know, it's like, or you have some girl that you're friends with benefits all the time and they never reciprocate your feelings, but years on end you're obsessed with them. That's actually a story for, you know, referring to a lot of different people in this, not only me, obviously. You know, there's a lot of things in these situations. Until things are normal in your life with this area, you have normal feelings and normal adaptive behaviors, normal, you know, what's it called? Attachment styles, right? Normal things. If it goes normal, then you could be normal. Other than that, you've got to build your way up, build back up, build back better. You know, fucking, you got to build up your life, or you're gonna, you know, you're gonna fail. You know, you have to fucking build it. You have to fight. You know, it is a battle. It is a war. The war of the sexes. They used to talk about that in the 90s. Now it'd probably be totally politically incorrect to say
We're the various genders. How about that? The 36 genders. Ah.
you know. I mean, it is a war. It's a battle. It's a battle to be, even to get to the level of normalcy a lot of people take for granted, a level of adjustment people take for granted. You have to fucking build. You have to do this. If you didn't do it this in your early adolescence and your early adulthood, you're fucked. If you know, you could meet someone and get married and, you know, that's it, and then have a divorce or whatever. Not necessarily, you know. Some people do that, right? There's still room for, I mean, there's room for like the idea, oh my God, you know, he was a virgin until he was 26 and he met his girl and was the only girl he's ever with for the rest of his life for 80 years or whatever, right? It happens. But a lot of us out here, you know, in this normal society are not, you know, we have to fucking fight. If you didn't have that time, this time was, you're supposed to, I mean, not everybody had the same adult or early adulthood or adolescence, but you saw people that were, even people that were ugly, fatter than, like 5 times bigger than me, or 5 times uglier than me, 5 times unfunnier than me, unintentionally or intentionally, you know, get you know, girlfriends and stuff. You see, you know, all sorts of stuff. You saw all the sorts of these things, but there's just this one element in your life that is so shitty that it hangs over your head like a fucking dark cloud, an aura of darkness and evil. No, not evil, but an aura of darkness, you know. It's not fun to be in this position, but, you know, you don't go through that stuff. I'm not saying everybody, but it's normal development. Like, you know, dated, you know, the first date at 13, you know, make out, you know, second date, you know, date a girl seriously at 14, 15, to never have sex, but 16, your first time, meet a girl in college and live with them for 2 years, break up, meet your wife, and, you know, you're working at a company. That's the normal way. It's not like being a pickup artist or having sex with 300 women. That's not normal. I mean, never said that one. But adopting some of those strategies that those guys have a little bit, at least the assertiveness, at least trying like they do, trying, not sitting there in your fucking apartment or your attic room, you know, for years on end, just wasting away. Fuck that, you know? So no, I'm not gonna fucking wait any longer. I'm gonna kick ass in every area of life, and anybody that says I can't do it, fuck off. That's all.